Hey guys, it's Skybird, and today we're going to be taking a look at my self-mock, which is appropriately a Makuta, but not just any Makuta. This is based on the prototype Makuta that came out several years ago. We got images of it, I think from like an eBay sale or something, and so I actually did a take on that build a few years back. It is one of my best performing videos, and I will link it at the end of this video as well, so you can check it out. Just remember, I was a few years younger back then. With that said, though, I'm really happy with how he came out, and I made a few modifications, a few changes to that design so as to make the model itself more durable, especially in the body, because in the official prototype design, it's not the most stable thing in the world. It does have a lot of issues with certain things falling apart. You can probably tell that just from the photos itself, where it is essentially just dismantled. And I made several changes, especially to the lower legs as well, to more or less stabilize them and keep them more proportional with the character. This feels a lot more like the Makuta that we saw in a lot of different types of media, especially the Bionicle game. But with all of that said, my thoughts on this character in terms of his story, if you will, is that he is an old member of the Makuta Society. However, he is one of the good ones. He essentially focuses most of his time on protecting and finding the displaced Rahi of the Bionicle universe. As a avid lover of all things Rahi, of all things natural in the world, he is fairly isolated, fairly solitary, so he doesn't really try to interact all that much with any of the Makuta, or for the matter, any of the Toa as well. You can see that there is a little bit of a wobble inside of here. That is actually because that is based on the same design as the prototype, which just connects to one axle at the base here. I do know a method of connecting that more solidly, but I didn't want to do it for this video because I did want to at least address it here. With that said, though, let's go ahead and take a look around the full model here. As mentioned, this is my mod on the prototype, so it actually fixes a handful of issues and just kind of makes things generally look a little bit nicer in my opinion. Although if you like the double jointed legs, they are admittedly pretty cool, but they have a lot of issues. So speaking about the articulation for the model, it has your standard hip articulation, and the interesting angle that the hips are actually attached at allows for much greater range of posability than I would expect from a model like this. The legs do a pretty good job of holding the model up, but I think CCBS sockets, or even more modern sockets from today's Lego profile, if you will do a much better job at holding the model up, just because these older sockets and the Rakshi heads do lose their friction over time, or Rakshi backs rather. With that said, though, they are custom built upper leg to allow for the lower legs to actually bend at the knee. It's not a lot of movement, but it is far better than what we got in the official Makuta from 2003, so I will take it. I love the leg and foot design in general. I think that looks so much better than what we got from the Makuta that we had, which was more of just a block with stuff added on. Still, I admire the effort that was put into it, but I do far more enjoy this design here. With that said, it does have a function here as well at the waist, as you would expect from any Makuta set from the era, and this does focus mostly on classic pieces, but there are a handful of modern pieces, including some 3 long lightsaber bars and Glatorian necks in here to give the elbow some articulation, as well as the wrist here. The claws are the standard design for the original prototype, so not much has changed outside of the fact that I made these able to swivel so that the fingers of the claws can sort of interlock, if you will, and there's a pinhole here for him to hold a staff of some kind. Though I haven't settled on an exact staff design for him yet, so he's not carrying a weapon currently, and he also has an axle on the back here as well to also carry that staff once he has it. The arms can move at the shoulder here as well, so that has plenty of range of motion, and even these little tubes are connected to a ball as well. Let me go ahead and show you that from the front. These tubes are connected to a ball on the inside here, so they actually have a decent amount of movement as well, if that's something you wanted to do. With that out of the way, the head can also move. It is on a ball joint, but I also put it on one of those new, well, not new from Lego, it's a bootleg piece, but a toe ball axle socket. It's a great piece. I'm going to be doing a separate video on it as well, but it allows for the neck to be double jointed, so the neck can look all the way up, but it can also like move forward at the base of the neck as well. So it's literally a socket and then attached to a ball attached to another socket in a very small amount of space. It gives you a lot of range of motion and sort of a freedom of movement and a lot of expression out of a character like this who otherwise would not have it. So I'm very happy with the design of the model itself. It uses the Mata heads. You have plenty of choices of eye color here, and I'm using the silver head here as well from one of the Metro Nui playsets. Don't know which one. So with that all out of the way, I just want to give you a full rundown, a full look at the model front to back, just so you have it visible again. And on the back of the legs here, these claws can move, though not as much as on the official model. And all of the Krata holders can open, so you can put Krata in there if you really want to. It's not necessary. But as I mentioned, the body is built around a slightly different connection here to make it a lot more stable than the final model. So it is far more resilient in this build here, although it kind of makes it harder to put a Krata inside of this holder. Not that it matters that much. I don't really do it, but hey, it's always nice to add a little bit of color in here. So that's basically everything that I can think of for this video. So of course, if you guys did enjoy this video and enjoyed a look at my self-mock, my take on me as Titan form, I guess, in the Bionicle universe, let me know in the comments. I would love to do a revamp of this character in modern parts. So maybe I will make a larger Titan for him based on, 2007 or 2008 or something. And along those lines, just want to say, let me know in the comments if you want to see something, if you have a particular take on this character you'd like to see, maybe Generation 2 or something, I don't know. With all that out of the way, make sure to like and subscribe because it does help out the channel. And of course, as always, my Discord and Instagram linked in the description. I'll see you all in the next one. Take care.